If I ask you to value a bond on a coupon date, you can very easily do it, right? For example, if I ask you to value the bond at the for 0 point, for this point over here, you will simply discount all the coupons and the redemption value. If I ask you to value the bond at the end of second year, you will discount the coupons of third, fourth and fifth year, obviously discounting the future cash flow. So if I am standing at the end of second year, future cash flow is third, fourth, fifth year's coupon and fifth year's redemption value. That is very easy. If I ask you to calculate the value of the bond at the end of year 1.5, which means between two coupon dates, then how do you value the bond is the question I'm trying to answer, everyone, right? And similar to this concept is the concept of full price, dirty price, or the concept of flat price, clean price. Through this concept, you will learn it entirely. So the basic or the core remains the same, just that we will have to do it now in parts. How will you do it? Let me explain. So let's assume that we have a bond having a face value of rupees 1000, correct? Annual coupon rate of 8%. When I say annual coupon rate, I mean to say coupon rate is obviously annual, but the frequency is also annual. Alright. So 1000 rupee into 8% is 80 rupee of coupon will be paid. For how many years? The original maturity is 5 years. But term to maturity, since I stand at the end of 1.5 year, now 3.5 years are left to me, right? And the YTM is 10%. I need to give the value of a bond. Now, if you apply a simple logic of present value of future cash flows, sir, I need to find out the present value at this point on the day of valuation when the YTM is 10%, right? So on this day, the YTM in the market is 10%, which means all these coupons and redemption value are to be discounted to 1.5 year at the rate of 10%. That is what we need to do. So, sir, do it now. Why is there a need of a separate concept for doing this? The need is that if I ask you to do the present value of all these future cash flows, can you people try to do it? Everyone. Life people think, no. If I ask you to do it right now, can you do it? Recorded people. So you have to realize, sir, how do I do the present value? I discount the cash flows. So basically the coupon amount into the present value annuity factor, correct? Sir, to be able to do the discounting, first of all, you must realize that it should be an annuity. Annuity means same amount after the same time interval, and if you realize this time interval is 0.6 months, which is 0.5 year, where rest of the time interval is 1 year same. So, which is the reason this is not an annuity? Because this is 1 year, 1 year, 1 year, but this one is 0.5 month and 0.6, 0.5 year, 6 months, which is why I cannot simply discount it by multiplying 80 rupees with the present value annuity factor of 4 years. How many of you could understand the point I'm trying to make? Requesting your responses. People, similarly for this 1000 rupee, I can discount it for 3 years. But after 3, it will be either 4, it cannot be 3.5. Are you understanding? So hence we have to do the discounting now in parts, which is again very easy. Everyone, rather than standing at the end of 1.5 year, let me figure out what is the next coupon date. The very next coupon date, everyone in the class is at the end of second year. At the end of second year, when I stand, is it an annuity now? Is it, one second, one second. At the end of second year, when I stand, right, are my future cash flows forming an annuity? Yes. Year one, year one, year one. Same gap, same time interval, and the same amount. So let us do one thing. Let me discount all my future cash flows to year 2 at least. So this 80, this 80, this 80 and this 1000 rupee will be discounted at 10% YTM at the end of second year to give you a value of 949.96. Let us right away do it on the calculator. Ignore the rounding off and everything. Sir, 1.1 divide 1, 2, 3. GT is 2.48685 something multiplied by 80 M plus 1000 rupee divided by 1.1, 1, 2, 3. 3 times is 751.31. Memory recollect is 950.262. I mean, if the answer is not matching, maybe they would have done the rounding off. Maybe, meaning to say, this chart I've taken from the previous batch when I was teaching to them, and maybe I asked them to do the rounding off. People, please do the rounding off and give me the answer of, again, 949.96. When you do the rounding off, what answer are you getting? So 1.1 divide equal. When I do the GT, it is 2.487 on a rounded off basis 3 times. So I'm planning to upload this video even on YouTube. So YouTube guys, let me tell you, present value factors are to be rounded till 3 decimal points, right? So present value annuity factor is 2.487. So 2.487 multiplied by 80 rupees is the coupon amount. 1.1 divide equal is 0.751 is the present value factor for 3 years, which is multiplied by 1000 rupees. Which is the redemption value. So please give me the answer. 2.487 multiplied by 80 m plus 0.751 into 1000 m plus memory recollect is 949.96. Are you people getting the same answer? Which means I need to brought down all the cash flows to 1.5 years, where the cash flow of third, fourth and fifth year has been brought down to second year. This much we are settled. Correct? Do you agree at the end of second year I have one more cash flow available for me to be discounted for 6 months? So 949.96 has the coupon amount from 3 to 5. To this, if I add, and which is standing, the present value is standing at the end of second year. At the end of second year, I have one more cash flow, which is the cash flow of 80 rupees, giving me a total of 1029.96 on my calculator at the end of second year, correct? Do you agree this is to be discounted by 6 months to bring it to 1.5 year? So let me simply discount it this amount at the rate of 10%, but only for a period of 6 months. Sir, 1029.96 divided by 1 plus R. But R, which is 10% YTM, is obviously a per annum YTM. I need to discount it only for a period of 6 months. So to the YTM of 10%, I need to multiply 6 by 12, right? So 10%, which is 0.1 into 6 divided by 12 is 5% plus 1. So my answer when divided by 1.05. So 1029.96 when divided by 1.05 is 980.91 rupees, which is the value of the bond at the end of 1.5 years. People in the class, what I want to ask you is that, isn't it that ultimately we are doing the present value of future cash flows, just that we are doing it in parts? Because we could not frame an annuity right at point 1.5. Hence, we framed an annuity once here and then did it in parts to arrive to 980.91. I need a feedback as to how much out of 10 are you people settled till this point. I need to take you ahead for this, but how much are you settled till this point? Requesting your quick response, everyone in the class. Is it making sense? Durga, 10. Sahil, Dhananjay, are you guys set? Rest of the recorded people in the class, are we set? So now let me explain to you few more terminologies related to it. So if I ask you to value a bond at the end of 1.5 years, you have arrived at the value, which means at the end of this day, when you buy a bond in the market, how much is the price you have to pay for at 980.91? Do you know what is that called as? Full price. The price, which is the full price, which is called as dirty price, is the total price that you have to pay to purchase a bond in the market, right? Because that is logically the value. However, let us figure out that if you pay this price of 980.91 in the market to buy this bond at the end of 1.5 years, let us think Like, let us try to figure out the component of this price that you're paying. Do you realize in this price, right, which you pay at the end of 1.5 year, let me try to break down the period into two parts. If you look at the total coupon for second year, if you look at the total coupon amount for second year, sir, whom will the company pay the coupon? Since you are holding the bond at the end of second year, you will receive the entire coupon from the company. But do you realize at the end of 1.5 year, when you pay him a price of 980, in this you are automatically paying to him a coupon amount of first 6 months, which is already included in this. Because the total price you pay is 980.91, that is fixed, that is based on the rule of present value of future cash flow, that is based on the principle of future present value of future cash flows. But let us try to figure out in this price how much is the amount of accrued coupon which has been accrued to him. Because why is it accrued to him? Because he was holding the bond for the first 6 months. It is you who bought from him after 6 months and you hold it for the next 6 months, which means the coupon of first 6 months he deserved to receive. How much is the amount of coupon? Let us figure out. Sir, my annual coupon is 80 rupees, which is for a year, which when I multiply it by 6 and divide by 12, I'll get the amount of coupon which accrues to him for the first 6 months. So for this time period, the amount of coupon, everyone in the class, for this time period, the amount of coupon which is accruing to him is 80 into 6 divided by 12, which is 40. So other than accrued interest, other than accrued coupon, how much is the price of the bond you are paying to him? So what you are paying to him is 980.91 minus 40, the flat price of 940.91, which is the price specifically for the bond excluding the amount of coupon, is for 940.9, is the amount of 940.91. This is called as flat price, and this is, everyone in the class, also called as clean price. Everyone in the class, could I explain to you the entire concept of how do you value a bond between the coupon dates? And when you do so, automatically the full price and the flat price become different, because there is an element of accrued interest for this much of a time period. And also the alternative terminologies with respect to this, requesting your responses, everyone. And if I receive a yes on it from all of you, I'm going to explain, or I'm going to say one more line, I think the most important line to be used in practical questions now. We all need to understand that every bond, for example, a bond is trading in the market, right? We all need to understand that if a bond is trading in the market, what is the price at which it trades? Does it trade at full price or does it trade at flat price? So everyone in the market, everyone in the class, not market, the bond is traded in the market at its flat price, which means when you go to market and look at the bond price, this is the flat price which is prevailing in the market. If you buy a bond at this price, the total price you will have to pay to other party is the flat price available in the market plus the amount of accrued interest to be paid along with it, which means the total of full price you will have to pay to someone in the market when you buy a bond. What is listed in the market is this, which means if examiner says that the flat price is this, because that is what is quoted in the market, you will have to add an accrued interest to find out the full price. Which means in that case, you will have to do the calculation like this. However, when you do the present value of future cash flows, you will automatically first get the full price, deduct the accrued interest and get the flat price. This is all everything with respect to this concept which I wanted to teach to you. With respect to this in our OutScanner, everyone, 1 second. With respect to this in our OutScanner is question number 17, which we will do in the class, and I would want you all to mark it. And we can consider doing this question in the class, in the written manner. Question number 17, as I said. Let's write this down, write this question down in the notebook. Question number 17, people. How many of you remember, how many of you remember me trying to tell you in the initial lectures the importance of timeline in AFM? The importance of being able to imagine the cash flows on AFM in the timeline, right? Let me tell you, quality of concepts is being delivered through imagination. So if I am able to imagine, I would be able to explain you, and if you are able to imagine it in that way, the concept really becomes easy for you. Would you agree to what I'm trying to say? Isn't this concept, I don't know if it is looking easy to you. Are you finding the concept easy now? If yes, that is specifically because of your imagination on the timeline that, okay, this is the coupon amount, this is the further discounting period, this is one shot discounting period, this cash flow stand at the end of second year, additional cash flow of 80, total again at the end of second year, further discounted for 6 months, right? So when I present it, it has a logic, meaning to say, why when I write this down, when I write down this number over here, because it is at the end of second year. When I create an arrow only from these three numbers, arrow 1, arrow 2, arrow 3, which means it is discounting only these three cash flows, this 80 is still left undiscounted. Hence we added to make it 1029.96 further discounted for 6 more months. And hence I say that 980 is the price at this point of 1.5 year. The reason for presenting the things in this manner is this. I hope now it is all clear. All right.